Welcome, everybody. This is the Masterclass. My name is Patricknazareth. I have 30 years of teaching experience, and I'm here to help dispel your doubts should you have any. Today, we continue with our explanation of Julius Caesar. We will be specifically looking at Act 2, Scene 3. What is the importance then? We have the final warning that will go unheeded. It's a brief scene, only 14 lines. It occurs on the street as Caesar is going to travel to the Senate. Artemidorus, a teacher of rhetoric who is loyal to Caesar, has written a letter exposing the entire conspiracy. Every man in the conspiracy is listed by name. He plans to hand it directly to Caesar as he passes. Caesar's final chance to avert the fate that is planned for him. There's dramatic tension and irony. Will this letter save Caesar or not? We as the audience know that the letter is true, but will Caesar heed its warnings? What is the structural and thematic function of this particular scene? It's a brief interlude between Caesar leaving home and arriving at the capital. It intentionally slows the pace, builds anticipation, builds suspense, builds dread, shows us that not everyone in Rome supports the conspiracy. Loyalty still exists. Gives us another layer to the repeated pattern of ignored warnings. The soothsayer, the omens, Calpurnia, this letter. Always on the same theme, faith versus free will. Caesar has a chance to change his destiny. Will he take it? Let's look at the summary of Act 2, Scene 3 then. What is the location? A street near the capital in Rome. It is the morning of the Ides of March. Artemidorus, a teacher of rhetoric loyal to Caesar, is the only character here. One of the shortest scenes in the entire play. What is happening? Artemidorus reads the letter aloud. What he has written in the letter. Caesar, beware of Brutus. It names every conspirator, from Cassius down to Caius Ligeris. He states that they share one mind bent against Caesar and warns that security gives way to conspiracy. Artemidorus explains his plan. He tells us what he is going to do, how he is going to wait on the street, disguised as a suitor or a petitioner. When senators walked on the streets, Romans of all classes could give them letters, setting forward their pleas for some problem that they would like solved. He hopes that Caesar will read the letter because it concerns Caesar himself, not a public matter. Artemidorus voices his fear. He worries that Caesar might be too noble, too interested in public duty and not interested in saving himself. He might ignore a personal warning. He closes with the lines, "If thou read this, O Caesar, thou mayest live. If not, the fates with traitors do contrive." It sets out the entire scene. He leaves everything in the hands of fate. If Caesar has to live, he will. If he has to die, he will die. So dividing this particular act into two parts, we see where Artemidorus reads the letter. What are the contents? He reads everyone's names, starting with Caesar. Caesar, beware of Brutus. Cassius, take heed. Casca, come not near. Cinna, have an eye to. Trebonius, trust not. Metellus Cimber, mark well. Decius Brutus, loves thee not. Caius Ligerius, thou hast wronged. Here we have to ask ourselves a question. Why is Brutus named first? Brutus is Caesar's most trusted friend. It is the most shocking possible warning that can be given. It tells Caesar that even his closest friends are part of the plot. Naming him makes the letter more credible, more urgent. There are key warning phases in this. There is but one mind in all these men, and it is bent against Caesar. They are united, one purpose, the assassination of Caesar. If thou beest not immortal, look about you. You are a man susceptible to assassination. Be careful. Security gives way to conspiracy. Caesar is overconfident in himself, but that means he is leaving himself open to this assassination attempt. In part 2, we hear about Artemidorus' plan and what does he fear. First, how does he plan to deliver the letter? By putting himself as a petitioner, as somebody who is giving something public to Caesar in front of everyone. People will not realize that he is actually warning Caesar personally. Why he hopes Caesar will read it? Because it concerns Caesar, Caesar's life in fact. He hopes that Caesar will forget his public duties for some time and look at his own personal safety. What is his central fear? That Caesar might be too noble, too interested in public duty to read a personal warning in the middle of his duties. The very values of Caesar, selflessness, focus on Rome, might prevent him from acting on the information that he has been given. He wants Caesar to understand that there is genuine danger, and he hopes that Caesar, for once in his life, deals with his own personal danger first instead of dealing with public business. The final lines: "If thou read this, O Caesar, thou mayest live. If not, the fates with traitors do conspire." And he sets up the faith versus free will again. If you read the letter, you might live. If you don't, you will die. He understands that faith and human conspiracy may work together, and that will be the end of Caesar. We have to ask ourselves, how does Artemidorus know this? He's a teacher of rhetoric. He moves in educated political circles. He overhears discussions, takes part in them, or he has pieced together intelligence based on what he has heard and what has been told to him. The list is so complete that we know that what he is saying is the truth. Who are the characters in Act 2, Scene 3? Artemidorus, an outsider. He's not a senator. He is a teacher of rhetoric, which is public speaking and persuasion. He has somehow learned the names and the intentions of all 8 conspirators. He's loyal and courageous. If he attempts to expose a conspiracy, he might be killed himself. He is intelligent and strategic. He understands exactly how to approach Caesar. He is also realistic and anxious. He genuinely fears that Caesar's nobility will work against him, and his closing lines carry a tone of dread rather than confidence. What is his function in the play? He represents the genuine loyalty that Romans felt towards Caesar. Some, Brutus, Cassius, Decius, betray Caesar from positions of trust. But Artemidorus, an outsider, risks his life out of pure loyalty. His is the voice of truth. His letter is 100% accurate. It creates dramatic tension. We, the audience, know that the letter is absolutely true. It's prophetic, in fact. But will Caesar take heed? It emphasizes the tragic inevitability. The information is true. The plan is reasonable. Yet the fates might step in and prevent success, telling us that some tragedies cannot be stopped. It provides an outside perspective. He is neither a conspirator nor a part of Caesar's inner circle. He sees the situation clearly and without any bias. What are the literary devices in Act 2, Scene 3 then? Dramatic irony. The audience knows the letter is true. We have watched the conspiracy form. We also suspect that Caesar won't read it. It makes us watch helplessly as salvation slips away. Foreshadowing. If not, the fates with traitors do contrive strongly hint that Caesar will not read the letter. Artemidorus' worry about Caesar being too noble foreshadows exactly why Caesar will refuse the letter at the capital. Personification. The fates do contrive. Give faith human agency. It actively schemes alongside the conspirators. Security gives way to conspiracy, treats abstract ideas as characters acting on each other. Paradox. The very virtues of Caesar, nobility, selflessness, becomes the flaw that kills him. Being too good in a corrupt world will lead you nowhere. Suspense and delay. The scene is deliberately paused between Caesar's decision and his assassination. It slows up the clock, builds up suspense. Symbolism. The letter equates to truth, knowledge, salvation. The street, the boundary between safety and doom. Caesar will cross it either way. Contrast. The loyalty of Artemidorus, his honesty versus Decius's lies in the previous scene. His loyalty versus the betrayal of Brutus, Cassius, and the rest. What are the major themes in Act 2, Scene 3? Faith versus free will. This play's central theme is compressed into these 14 lines. Caesar has free will. He may or may not read the letter. If he does, he will survive his assassination. If he doesn't, he will die. The scene asks us to understand, are we truly free? Or does destiny merely disguise itself as choice? Knowledge versus ignorance. Complete, accurate knowledge exists. It is literally written on paper. Yet, the knowledge is useless if it is never received. The scene explores whether the mere existence of truth can prevent tragedy, or whether ignorance can be self-perpetuating. Loyalty and its limits. Artemidorus represents genuine loyalty, risks his own life to act on it. Yet, loyalty alone cannot save Caesar. It must be received and acted upon by the person it is meant to protect. The scene asks us whether loyalty has power when the person being protected won't listen. Virtue as a fatal flaw. Artemidorus fears Caesar's nobility will doom him. Selflessness and devotion to public life are admirable qualities, but in this moment, they become the very thing that will lead Caesar to his doom. The theme suggests that in a world of conspirators, virtues can become vulnerabilities. The inevitability of tragedy. Multiple warnings have been received, omens, dreams, and now finally a letter. Each one fails. Caesar inevitably goes to his assassination. This cumulative pattern suggests some tragedies are unstoppable, regardless of how many opportunities to prevent them exist. Here again, I have given you key quotes and passages. Explain them in simple English. Please do go through them, understand them, pause the video, look at them up in your book while reading the explanation. Here, I have given you vocabulary, Old English versus New English. I have translated them so that you are better able to understand. Look them up in your book and understand their meanings as given by me. Here I have given you context-based questions, 3 to 4 marks-based questions, extract-based questions, long answer questions. I suggest that you do them yourself and then check the answer key to see how much your answers match. This will give you an idea of how well prepared you are for your examination. Talking about the examination, what tips can I give you? What do examiners look for? Always ask the letter's contents because it is a central element. You have to know all the 8 conspirators' names in order. You have to understand key phrases, one mind bent against Caesar. Security gives way to conspiracy. And you have to be able to explain why Brutus is named first. Artemidorus' character and role, because it tests our analysis of character. We have to know that he is a teacher of rhetoric, he is loyal to Caesar. We have to understand his plan and his fear about Caesar being too noble. And you have to understand what he represents: loyalty, truth, a failed warning. Thirdly, the key quote on faith versus free will, because this is central to the play's theme. You have to memorize. If thou read this, thou mayest live. If not, the fates do contrive. The entire quotation you have to memorize. Understand how it presents both choice and destiny simultaneously. It connects to the broader pattern of ignored warnings. Look at the dramatic function here. Why? It tests our understanding of structure and technique. We have to understand how this creates suspense, how this delays the assassination. It shows us that Caesar could have been saved. We have to analyze how dramatic irony affects the audience. What would have been lost if this scene had been removed? Try and understand that. Important phrases. Security gives way to conspiracy. Overconfidence creates vulnerability. Virtue cannot live out of the teeth of emulation. Greatness attracts jealous enemies. If thou beest not immortal, a respectful reminder of mortality that all of us possess. That's the lesson there for you then. I do hope I have been of help. If I have, please remember to like, subscribe and share. Remember, there would be others requiring our help. Thank you so much for watching.